So we did 70 kilometers for a few days. Then we had to do 75 kilometers for a few days. This is the first time I'm disclosing it in front of a camera. I started becoming conscious towards my simple actions, even the simplest actions, to such an extent that I will not blink my eyes for days on end. The first thing which came in my life is the words of Sadhguru. There were many difficulties. As many hurdles come, the Yatra becomes more beautiful. His name is Dhruv. He takes care of all my social media content. I called him, he didn't pick the phone, and he was admitted to the ICU. I got a new responsibility, that was to shoot and edit myself as well. If you have willingness but you don't have commitment, things will not happen. Now what you are seeing is a product, not the preparation. So this is my request to all the youngsters who are viewing this interview.
Namaskar, Manna.
Mr. Anna.
It is so blessed to meet you in the ashram, and I've seen your videos of how you have traveled from Kashi to Coimbatore. It's 2,300 kilometers and more than 41 days. You walked in barefoot. This is something else, Anna, because Sadhguru says this is not these times when he speaks about people who walk from north to south or south to north. So he specifically says that you should understand it's not these days that you travel through flight or a train or a bus or a car. This is those time where people have walked literally. So it takes, because many people, now I'm getting goosebumps while speaking, because it takes something else to even think to walk thousands of kilometers. So many times you don't know what happens. It's a day and night of walk. So how does it all start, Anna? What did it take for you to have this fire in you to walk from Kashi to ashram?
So first of all, I would like to introduce myself, Anna. My name is Dr.Madhuranandha. I am a Hatha Yoga teacher by profession and also a doctor. I started my inward journey since I completed inner engineering. I started my inner engineering online in 2018, and after 2021 July I got initiated into Shambhavi Mahamudra, because at that time it was not available online, and I was a student, so I couldn't bear to go to the ashram. Neither did my parents support me, because many people don't know, but I am the only son to my parents. So in North India it's very usual, if you are the only son, parents don't allow you to go on the spiritual path, because they think you will become some Baba or a Ghori, or you will go to the mountains and you will sit and you will just ruin your career as well as your life. So that fear in their hearts was always there. But with His grace, fortunately, I opted this path, and I chose Isha Hatha Yoga teacher training, and I completed my training in 2022, and then just after the training I went through Samema also. Yeah. So the journey started from my early childhood actually. I was very much into the spiritual practices like fasting. It was unconscious, but just because in the tradition these things are just made usual for you. In North India it is very usual that people go on fasting on the Ekadashi and also on Mahashivratri. Every Shivratri they go through a fast. So it was very simple for me also. Every Shivratri I went for a fast. I didn't know what will it turn when I grow up, but it went on like this, and I completed my studies. I went for the job, and then I actually left my job also. I was a doctor and I left it because I wanted something big to happen with my life. So that not just for myself, I wanted that big thing to happen with all the lives around me also. So that was the target, and this is the reason why I opted Hatha Yoga teacher training also, because I didn't want those things which I think are phenomenal to be limited to only my experience. I wanted it to be available as a possibility for everyone, and that was the reason for choosing this padyatra also, so that I can make it available to everybody who can't walk, who can't choose the same thing, who can't do the same thing. There are many people who are engaged in the jobs, there are many people who are engaged in the families, they are running their homes, so they can't do the same thing. But at least virtually, at least digitally, they can be a part of the yatra. So that was the reason I thought I will do this and I will post it. So if you see the comments, one thing happened is, no matter how busy I am with my walk or run or whatever, but I will always read the comments. Though I am unable to answer the comments, to reply the comments, but I will always go through the comments so that I can get to know what kind of message is going to be conveyed and how are people perceiving it. So I always read the comments, and one thing which I loved was people were going through the entire yatra just as if they are walking along with me. So actually that is the only success which we have got through this yatra. Not only, but at least socially, the only success which we have got, that we are, at least to some extent, we have been able to deliver it to the people just as if they are doing it, which is, I think, very important, because just as you were saying, that these are not the times when anybody and everybody can do it. And definitely, Anna, there were many small difficulties also in the yatra which came across, and we went through them, and now it's anyway, it has ended. So a yatra though never completes but somehow it's getting culminated.
I'm sure, Anna, you might have gone through a lot of hurdles in between, because if 100 people are walking, then it's different. If one person thinks to walk, then it's completely different, because it's not a charted path. You have to make your own path, now make your own plans, now make your own, where do you want to stop, how do you want to stop. So how does it, the support system was there for you? Is it something that you planned, or did it happen? How is the Isha people who supported you?
Definitely, Anna. There were many difficulties, but one thing which I want to clear here, see, there are always two sides to a coin. The coin is single, but if you see, there are two sides. So yes, there are difficulties, but there are positivities also. So every difficulty, every challenge gives you a learning also, and it makes you even stronger not just in the body or mind, but within you there is a strength which every challenge gives. So definitely, as many as hurdles we got much more clarity, much more maybe wisdom, much more commitment, and this is the only way a devotee can do it. As many hurdles come, the yatra becomes more beautiful. This is the significance of a yatra. Actually, this is the reason why a yatra is chosen. So if you see a yatra is a simple journey, simple walk, or maybe using some vehicle or whatever. So a yatra is a simple journey which becomes an inward journey if you do it consciously. So a yatra can be the easiest way or the easiest tool to transform yourself. Because if you are doing some kind of ritual, if you are doing some kind of practice, this, that, you can't give yourself fully to it. Many people start doing something, but then mosquito bites and they just do the other thing. So they can't be fully involved in it. And a yatra, if you start, you can't stop it. You just have to start. Then you have no option. So you become optionless, or in other words, in a yatra, a person becomes choiceless. So if you become choiceless, it goes naturally. Transformation becomes natural for you. You can't resist it. You can't, or in other words, you can't help yourself getting transformed. You can't stop it. It happens by itself.
This is definitely a different perspective, Anna, to an yatra, because I thought yatra is a journey, but now you have put a different perspective to it. It's very, the way you put it, I really like it, that you become choiceless. When you become choiceless, you don't have a choice, you just need to do it. So that's wonderful, Anna. I can see lots of wisdom.
It's not like that.
No. Because we can speak with just words, or we can see through things. So can you tell a little bit about the injury that you had? I seen in the video that you had injured your leg, and what happened?
Yes, Anna. There were many challenges. So the basic challenge was to complete the yatra in the given framework of time, which was almost 42 days in the starting. So the first challenge which we went through is, I have a very nice friend. His name is Dhruv. He takes care of all my social media content. He creates the content, he does the necessary editing, and then he posts also. So whatever you see in my social media, it is being done by him only. But we were in Prayagraj. It was 23rd of January, and we are planning to be in Kashi on that day itself. But because of excessive fog, we couldn't travel. His elder brother was there. He said, Anna, it's better if you start your journey in the morning. So we said, okay, it's fine. We can delay it for a few hours, no issues. And the food was almost ready. Dhruv, Anna, he just went to the market to purchase some inner wear for himself for the journey. And he called me from the market. We talked actually. And then he called me again. I was doing my sadhana. And then just after finishing my sadhana, the food was ready. They said, where is Dhruv? Please, if you can call him. I called him. He didn't pick the phone. His friend picked up the phone and he said, Dhruv is in the hospital. If you want to meet him, you can just come to the hospital. So we just rushed towards the hospital, and we went there and we saw he was critical, and he was admitted to the ICU, and he had a small brain injury as well, and a few major fractures, I will say, on the entire face. Yes. And he had completely broken his jaw, which is still on recovery. Fortunately, he has joined us at Chikkabalapur. He joined us, and since then he is traveling along with us. But he can't eat. He is on a liquid diet. Still, he is on a liquid diet, and he has to undergo another surgery in the upcoming future. Only then he will be able to open his jaw. So this is the I would say this is the level of commitment for any Isha volunteer, and this is the level of commitment for people who are connected with the Isha, that his wife also comes from Sadhana Pada. And for any wife, if she gets to know, she was in Rishikesh, we were in Prayagraj. So the family, they said you should not tell her that Dhruv has gone through this injury. They said you should not tell her, at least directly, at least as of now, you should not tell her. And I just called her and I told the entire thing. I presented it in a different way, that is a different thing. But I told her the entire thing, and I said, Akka, what do you say? Should I start the journey or should I not? She said, Anna, now it's the third day after the journey and you have still managed to stay here. I appreciate you. And now onwards, you should start the journey. Dhruv is not able to come, at least you should do the journey. So we started it, Anna. Unfortunately, we couldn't start it on the first day. We couldn't even start it on the second day morning. We arranged another guy for the shooting and editing, who was Dhruvana's friend. So we took him along with us, and we started on 27th evening, I think. 27th evening we started. 27th January, yes. On 27th January evening we started the Yatra, I think around 5 o'clock or something, 5 p.m. And then also, because that guy who just joined us as a replacement of Dhruv, he also had his father hospitalized. So the next day, he got a call from his family, and they said the father is not well. He has to be shifted to another hospital. So he said, Anna, what should I do? This guy is just a 21-year-old, and he started crying. He said, I don't want to leave you, but I don't have another option. What should I do? I said, you just take care of your parents. That is the first duty which you have. So we were just thinking what to do. We didn't have any option. Again, we were choiceless. So at that time, I got a new responsibility, that was to shoot and edit myself as well. To shoot the content and to edit and to post it by myself. That was the new responsibility which I got for the entire Yatra.
Actually, this live is only for those people who are waiting the day 16 reel of my Shiva Padyatra. I'm very sorry, guys. I'm in a storm. It's been raining here. I have just crossed the Madhya Pradesh Maharashtra border, and it is being raining. It has been raining since I think 1.5 hours. I'm all wet. You can see Adi Yogi is there.
And I have to complete all the 55 kilometers also. If you divide it by 42, the entire distance.
Okay, so 55 kilometers per day.
Yes, it was the necessary average which was
walk.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. But because we delayed the Yatra for 2 days in the starting, and then also we were shooting and editing and posting, so we couldn't make this 55 kilometers per day initially for lots of days. Then you will see it became 70, then it became 75 kilometers per day. So we did 70 kilometers for a few days, then we had to do 75 kilometers for a few days.
75 kilometers per
Yes,
day.
Anna. And for that sake, we traveled for almost at least 12 hours per day.
12 hours is it's entire day and night. If you sometimes it is morning, sometimes it is night.
Actually a day has 24 hours. So if you reduce your sleep quota and you start walking, then you just have to stop for the food and then you again start walking. So that was the schedule.
But when you are physically pushing yourself like this, walking 75 kilometers per day, then it is so much of body that is being used and stretched. So naturally this sleep should be more, right? But you say that if you reduce this sleep quota, how does it happen?
Yes. So this is what I said in the beginning of the video. Anna, if you are doing it unconsciously, the body is getting used. But if you are doing it consciously, then it is being exercised. It is being evolved continuously. So you are not, the body is not running you, you are running the body. So you will see consciously, as much distance as you cover, you will become conscious and conscious and conscious. And you will get to know how to use this body. This is the fundamental of a yatra actually, that you become a better human being. So the more kilometers we cover per day, the more stable the body becomes. And yes, there is a physical fatigue, there is definitely. But if you are doing it consciously, just with the help of a chant or with your conscious thought process or whatever, then it becomes very easy to take care of it and to use it the way you want. Yes, definitely, many times we also failed to do that. Many times in the morning we were starting a little late, like we planned for 4 a.m. we started 5 a.m. or 5:30 also sometimes. So that way sometimes we failed, but most of the times we started at the time, we ended at the time, and throughout the day also we did whatever we wanted to do. So this is why a yatra. And apart from this, yes, other difficulties were there. For example, as you have already mentioned, it was an uncharted terrain. We haven't been to a few states like Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, this was my first visit ever. And I don't know the terrain, I don't know the people, I don't know the language, and I don't know where is a good stoppage place, where should we halt. For example, I must tell you, one night we were planning to stay in a temple. We were on the way and we just used the GPS. So when we used the GPS, it showed a temple. When we reached, it was a nice building. So for a halt, a night halt, what we need is electricity for the mobile phones to get charged, and water so that we can take a shower and do the sadhana, and a shed if possible, because at that time we didn't have a tent. So these three things we need. If a boundary wall is there, then it is best, because any foreign body, they can't come and they don't disturb you, because there are a few excessive elements also which always try to hurdle your journey. Yeah, there are people of all kinds. So those people should not enter. If there is a boundary wall, they will not enter. So these are the 3-4 things which are ideal for us, and they were all the 4 things. Then we went for a shower. It was almost 200 kilometers. It was a hand pump. We just ran it and we took a shower. We did our sadhana. Then we sat for the food. A few drunkards came and they did their own thing outside, but they went. Then we realized, when we went again to the hand pump, washing our hands, we realized the vibration of the entire place is a little different. Then we looked here and there, and we realized that it was not a temple but a graveyard. And it was almost 12:30 in the night, so we can't change the location, we can't change the stay place. And we have Kaushikana in our team who is very new to these things, so we didn't tell him that we are in a graveyard. Every hour there is the clock rings, and it has some beautiful chants and everything. So Kaushikana, he thought we are in a temple zone, but we were actually in a graveyard. Another issue was having nice food and accommodation, definitely, which was in many ways taken care by the volunteers. Volunteers, when I say there are 2 sections of volunteers. First section is those people who don't come from Isha. Those were the volunteers whom we approached and we asked them for the food or accommodation, whatever, and fortunately they helped in whichever way they could. And the other thing is those volunteers which came from Isha. Unfortunately, we met those volunteers just when we crossed Chikkabalapur. A few volunteers like Jagananna, I must tell you about Jagananna. He is a fantastic guy, fantastic volunteer actually. He travelled almost 2000 kilometers. From Bangalore, he travelled to Adilabad with his 5-year-old kid, and then he went back to Bangalore. And he gave us camping tent, he gave us radium reflector jackets, he gave us necessary food which we can carry, and he just made the necessary accommodations for us for the next 2 days. So there are such volunteers, Isha volunteers who met us on the way also, like a few places like Nagpur we stayed at a volunteer's home, Jabalpur also, but they were very few. At the other times we only had to search a place and stay there for the night. And we were staying either in the temples where there might be food options also, because they prepare the prasadam, and if the prasadam is left over, then you can consume it. So that is a nice thing. And another option was that we can halt at any roadside dhaba, where if you eat the food, they will provide you some charpai, or maybe on the floor you can sleep and they will not disturb you. But it generally doesn't happen. Some, just like I was saying, some external particles will come and they will try to disturb you, to poke you in different ways, because either they are drunk or their intentions are the other way. So they will try to poke you in some way or the other. Another difficulty was the language, which was taken care almost. And about the temperatures, definitely in the north it is too cold, so you have to keep the luggage along with you. I mean, you have to keep your sweater, you have to keep your sleeping bag, all those things along with you. Even when you are running, you have to wear your sweater, otherwise it will be cold. When you start running, it will start sweating, because you are running, the body is hot. And if you remove your sweater and if you start resting, then the body cools down and there is a chance of getting cold. And if the inner t-shirt which you are wearing, if that t-shirt gets wet, then you have a chance, you don't have a chance to replace it, because you are not carrying so many t-shirts. So if you keep wearing the wet t-shirt, then there is a chance of getting cold. So those were the challenges in the northern part. When you came to the southern part, then initially when we came to the southern part, we noticed that after crossing Nagpur, the road was getting too much, the road was too hot to step over it. So if you see my videos, around Nagpur, a thorn entered my right foot sole, and I was not able to walk barefoot. And at the same time, the temperatures also increased significantly, so I thought it's better. A volunteer gifted me with a pair of sandals, so I said, okay, it's fine, we should use the sandals. Otherwise, my commitment, I wanted to travel all the way barefooted. So since Nagpur, I started wearing those footwear, the sandals, and it worked very nicely, Anna. Now I'm realizing, even with the footwear, it has been so difficult journey. If there were not any footwear, then it would have not been possible.
It's so correct, Anna, because now see that those days people walked barefoot because it was mud road. Now it's tar and cement. You cannot afford to. Yeah, it has a different terrain.
It scratches your feet.
It scratches. Yeah, exactly. It is for the rubber tires.
Definitely.
It's not for our feet. So definitely, if we are in the road,
definitely,
then it should be on rubber.
Yeah.
So if you are in mud, yes, definitely, yes, we can walk barefoot.
Yeah. So many people ask this question, Anna. They say, Anna, what do you do to ensure your survival? How do you take care of the finances? I say, I take care of him, he takes care of the finances. So actually that has been a reality in my life. I never care about the finances. It is being cared of by something else, which, just like Sadhguru says, which is a higher dimension of intelligence. So it's just about, there is a common saying, Sadhguru says, he gives an example of a devotee when he was in some problem and he used his own intelligence to counter that problem. He was attacked by a carnivorous animal in the jungle, and Krishna was just about to go outside, and he picked up the stone, and then Krishna stopped himself, and then his wife asked, why didn't you go? He said, he is making his own arrangements, why should I go? So the way of devotion is just like that. You should not try to do your own bullshit. If you are not trying to do your own nonsensical things, then the higher intelligence will anyway take care of it. This is what Sadhguru calls as being the hand of the divine. I am not saying I have become one, but definitely I want to become one.
Yeah, you are really an inspiration on that path, because what would you like to tell to the youth people or the youngsters now who are really into sedentary lifestyle, and now you have taken this journey and showed us that it is possible. So what would you like to tell to the youth?
Anna, the first thing which I would like to say is they must be committed to something, at least something. Because I can see there is a lack of commitment in everybody. Even in the seekers I can see, many seekers are very genuine, definitely. I am not talking about them. They are very nice. There are seekers who have inspired me also. I am not the first one. There are many great people, even right now, here in this ashram and outside, everywhere. But there is a larger section who are doing things without commitment. So the first thing which I want to say is, the first thing which is needed is willingness. There should be a big willingness to do all the things which you want to do. The second thing which has to follow this is commitment. If you have willingness but you don't have commitment, things will not happen. So the willingness gives you the direction, the commitment gives you the necessary procedure which you have to follow, and then only the results will come. So they need willingness and the commitment. If they don't have the willingness and commitment, then a simpler way is devotion. You just become a devotee of something, no matter what. As I was saying earlier, it can be the God or maybe some deity. It can be the Guru, it can be some human being, it can be yourself, it can be your family, it can be a dog, it can be a earthworm, it can be soil, say soil, whatever. Devotion can be an easy replacement for the entire process of willingness and commitment and action and this and that. If you are simply devoted, you are there. Actually, this is not me, it has come from Sadhguru only. But experientially I have seen this, that spiritual process people think is very hard, very difficult process. And it needs certain arrangements to be made, only then you can be spiritually oriented. Or you have to leave your home, you have to leave your family, you have to leave your job, this, that. I don't think it is too hard. I think that is the simplest thing which you can do in your life, being spiritual. Because anybody is spiritual. Everybody has spirit. As per the tradition and as per the, at least the belief systems, everybody has the spirits. So if you already have a spirit, you don't have to do anything. Just you have to put yourself aside for some sake. Whatever is your goal, you can only reach if you are not at least a problem in your life. So that thing you can do either by yoga, or by puja, or by any ritual or whatever, but at least do something. So Isha is a phenomenon. You can join Isha. I would just say, if people from outside Isha are looking this video, if they are watching this video, I would ask them to start their journey from inner engineering. Definitely it works. Because the first question which comes in mind, will it really work? Man, it's just 2000 rupees. Even if it doesn't work, you can contribute to Isha. If inner engineering doesn't work, at least the people here are working. They will get fed, they will get other things like some infrastructure, some facilities. It's just 2000 rupees. You just go in a restaurant for one night and just spend 2000 rupees. It's not a big amount. And the way it can definitely change your life is something else. It can change your fundamentals. So this is my request to all the youngsters who are viewing this interview to please go through this program Inner Engineering. If you want to intensify it, intensify with the Hatha Yoga practices, and if you want to go even more, then definitely you should attend all the Isha programs. It's phenomenal. The way it evolves you is something else. I would like to share a few people, they wanted to join us. We opened this yatra from Chikkabalapur to Coimbatore. Like anybody and everybody who is willing to join, they can join us for whatever amount of time convenient for them. So we announced it. On this special day, I want to invite all of you to join this Shivanga padyatra as per your convenience, as we are opening it for everyone, whoever is willing to join us. And even before the announcement, people were approaching me. When I started, just since then, people are approaching me. They say, Anna, I want to join. I say, no, you should not join right now. You should prepare yourself. Right now, you have the intention, you have the willingness. But first of all, I don't know how committed you are. That I will get to know if you are committed to the preparation. So you every day prepare and you just tell me that I am preparing. Only then I will get to know that you are really committed. That even that will also only give me the calculation of how much you are committed, not that you are ready. So you are willing right now. We don't know whether your bodies will allow it or not. And actually this happened. They joined us in Bangalore after almost a preparation of maybe some guys like 10-15 days, some guys like 1 or 2 people like 20 days of preparation. And even they backed out. One guy, he joined us in the Yatra. His feet were full of blisters, and because the first day he had to do 60 kilometers, I think 54 kilometers or something, and he was not able to do it. So he was continuously crying. He didn't want to go back. Then we explained him, and then when he got to know that my yatra, my commitment will be impacted if he doesn't go back, then he voluntarily went back. He joined the Ratha Yatra, because there you have to travel almost 25-30 kilometers. So he said, okay, na. So it's, yes, I'm constantly saying nothing is difficult, nothing is difficult. Actually, it's not that easy also. So you have to prepare a platform for you, a physical platform, a mental platform, where everything is stable, everything is balanced. Only then you can go for it. We have made it like this. I have done enough sadhana for almost 6-7 years. I am continuously doing sadhana. For 1.5 years, I must tell you, I locked myself in a single room, and I did sadhana only, full-time sadhana. For most of the time, I was in silence. People will call me, I just switch off my phone. So like that I was preparing. Now what you are seeing is a product, not the preparation. So the preparation was not for such kind of a padyatra, but to evolve myself. I was doing that kind of preparation. Now when I can see that things have become a little easier for me, now only I am choosing up these challenges. So definitely every youngster can do it, but unfortunately many of them are busy in something. So our best wishes for them also, if they can try to evolve from where they are to the realities of life, where there is only life and nothing else, and you have to work upon yourself, otherwise you will not get the goals, you will not get the results. And whatever you want to do, you must be willing to work for that, no? And you can only work to the best possible when you are standing on a stable platform. So first of all, you should maintain this, that you are not a problem in your own life, you are not an issue, only then you can handle the rest of the lives around you. And then there is another concept, that if you are not a problem for yourself, then knowingly or unknowingly you will start to become a doorway or a possibility for other people also, because they will anyway see you that you are a little more evolved than which they are, and they are, if they are seeing you for a lot of time, then they will get to know that yes, now he is doing much better. Whatever he was doing, like if he was a student, if he was an employee, if he was a musician, if he was a director, whatever he is doing much better now when he is into these practices or whatever. So then you can be an inspiration for other people also. This is all.
So Anna, we know Madhurananda when he started the padyatra and he reached here. But Madhurananda was practicing, self-practicing, lot of practice that he had done to come to that platform that he is stable. So tell me about your sadhana.
Definitely, Anna. Since I started following Sadhguru in 2017, I started sadhana. So I didn't really have any powerful practice for the sadhana. Like I was not initiated into Shambhavi Mahamudra. Definitely I didn't even know about Shunya, Shakti Chalan, Samema, whatever. But the first thing which came in my life is the words of Sadhguru. Whatever word he speaks became my sadhana. So there is a chant in Sanskrit where they say, whatever is Guru, Guru's feet, Guru's photo, his picture, his words, everything becomes a doorway for you. So they say that everything which Guru is and Guru offers can become a doorway for you. So just like that, every word which fortunately he spoke became a doorway for me, a possibility for me, and I made sure. So Sadhguru has spoken about it. He said that Arjuna, when he was being trained by Guru Dronacharya, he never missed a single opportunity when Guru Dronacharya is teaching something, and when Guru Dronacharya is teaching, he never missed any lesson. Sadhguru says, not me. He says, Dronacharya's own son Ashwathama was a batchmate to Arjuna. And this is a shady reality, but always Dronacharya wants to teach something more to his own son. But Arjun is kind of a seeker who never wants to miss anything. So Sadhguru says actually, he says, even when Guru Dronacharya went to the toilet, he waited outside the toilet so that though his own son will not come there, but he waited for Guru Dronacharya. Whenever he comes out, he will be available to Arjuna. Like that, he was dedicated towards his Guru. Only then he flourished to become the best archer in the world. So that thing, that sentence actually, or maybe that teaching from Sadhguru, it shook me from the internal whatever, from within it shook me. And since then I thought, okay, he's saying the right thing, and let's follow these words, where do they take you. So since then, whatever was Sadhguru speaking, it became my sadhana. If he says you should do it, it became my sadhana. If he says you should not do it, it became my sadhana. This is the first time I am disclosing it in front of a camera, to such an extent that one Sadhguru said, do you really remember for how many minutes have you been conscious of all your actions since you woke up today? So I started becoming conscious towards my simple actions, even the simplest actions, to such an extent that I will not blink my eyes for days on end, because I don't want to blink them. I know the eyes are blinking compulsively. I don't want to blink them. Why should they blink? And for days on end, I would not blink my eyes. First, some fluid will come, then they will become red, but I will not blink my eyes for days on end. And because I am not blinking my eyes, I will not sleep at all. For at least 2 to 3 days, I have done this. And my mother, I remember once I was driving the car and she said some fluid is coming out of your eyes, are you feeling sleepy? I didn't tell her that I am such a sadhana because she will resist anyway. So I said, no, I am not even blinking my eyes, you are saying I will sleep. So it went to that extent. Actually now I am not even able to do any kind of sadhana. Throughout these 40 days, I haven't done any sadhana other than the sadhana which I had taken up, the Yatra, the Shivanga sadhana and the Devi sadhana initially which was on. No Shambhavi. Initially I started Shambhavi, then I realized it's taking time and I'll not be able to reach the asana. Then I left Shambhavi also. Shunya, maybe one Shunya per day I managed to do. Sometimes that also I don't do. This is all the sadhana I am doing. But Sadhguru says the sadhana doesn't mean only the practices which you are doing on your mat. Yes, you definitely should do them. But once you come out of the mat, the real sadhana starts. What you are doing. Only if your actions become your sadhana, then only you can take up the concept of yoga in your entire life. So somebody told me, he was a Swami actually. He told me, Sadhguru told us 5 rules of spirituality. And the first rule was, yoga should not be a few hours practice. You must take yoga in your life for 24 hours by 7, all the 365 days. It should be on with you. Only then you can become a yogi, otherwise you are just a yoga practitioner. So that is the thing. Yes, a lot of sadhana I have done. Isha, non-Isha also. Because I was not aware of the Isha practices. Whatever was coming, I was doing. Which, yes, sometimes I felt has become an impediment also in my system. Many times I felt. In Isha, there is a guarantee that whatever you are doing, the process doesn't need to be taken care of. If you are just following the procedure, it will take you there. And I don't know about many systems, but whichever systems I tried to follow, you have to see whether this is right or wrong. And sometimes it starts hurting your mechanism also, which I have experienced by myself. I must tell you, for 4 years, I have just been consistent on the Upayoga, which is there free for all. If you search on YouTube, it is there. It is free for all. For 4 years, I did Isha Kriya as the meditation process and the Upayoga practices which are available on the YouTube and Sadhguru app for free. That was my only sadhana, but I did them consistently. Consistently means I will do all the practices and twice a day. And along with them, some kind of chanting and this Sadhguru presence time also. Chanting, presence time, Nad Yoga, everything. Actually, if you do those things, it will take 4 hours of the entire day. If you are doing twice, it will take 4 hours of a day. So that is intense enough. And I feel, many times I feel, the kind of basic platform which I have been able to manage, it's just because of those practices. Now Sadhguru says, when you have a stable enough platform, you can build whatever kind of building. It will not fall. So this is the intention.
Thank you so much, Anna. It's very wonderful to be speaking to you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for your time. And I wish you all the best for whatever you want to do in your life. Thank you so much, Anna. Namaskaram.